think what I'll try to do first for everybody is give you an update injury-wise. Probably we were pretty clean in the last game, but Mikael Wilbon sprained his ankle, hurt his ankle. I'm very hopeful that he'll be ready to play, but I don't think he'll be doing much today in practice. Tyron Ferguson has had a turf toe. Was actually basically cleared to travel to Illinois the day before the game with us. Didn't do anything in the game. Hopefully he's feeling better and can practice. Aaron Williams has had a neck soft tissue, a matter of comfort in handling the pain, so he'll be limited in practice but should be able to play. Josh Kalu will return to practice and we'll see where he is. Marcus Newby was going to return to practice today but got sick, so we'll miss today. I'm hopeful that he'll be back tomorrow. David Neville continues to get better. Cole Conrad the same way. Matt Farniok limited, but he's got a big club and can play. Has been cleared to play. Stanley Morgan, as you guys saw, made it through the game. I think he handled all that fairly well. Hopefully he just gets better and better during the week. DeMornay has had shoulder issues and an ankle, but I think he'll practice today and be all right. Brian Reimer should be better. And Chris Jones has been basically cleared to start practicing. And as I mentioned the other day, it's been a long time since he's played football, so we'll see where he is. Being cleared and being ready and practiced up to play in the game are obviously two different things. So we'll see. In to sum up the game offensively, we were, I would say, more efficient than we have been at any time this year. The running game, the passing game complemented each other. I think we figured that Tanner had 4 drops, was 17 for 24 and had 4 drops and threw 2 balls away. Made good decisions, and when you're having efficiency, you're in the quarterback position. Your third down efficiency is usually reflected in that, and we were 7 of 11, which is good. Connor Ketter, both running backs, Devine and Wilbon, I thought had good games, and Stanley Morgan and DeMornay Personnel played well. We had 2 offensive penalties, a hold, and then a personal foul at the end of the game. And we had pretty good balance in the game. 13 explosive plays, which is a good number. Defensively, I thought that a lot of what the defensive coaches, Coach Giacco, what they talk about is points all the time. And I thought that the 2 red zone stops, making them kick field goals, were, that was the really good defense. We had to handle a sudden change where we fumbled the ball, gave them real good field position, and defense, actually they lost yardage from there on that in that following series. They only had 5 explosive plays in the game, so again the big play defense was good, big play prevention, and then Luke Gifford had a good game. Ben Steely, as has been noted, had a good game. Chris Weber had one of his best games. Aaron Williams and Carlos Davis, they also played well. Drew Brown continues to be real solid. Kickoff direction, doing a good job. Jordan Ober, I need to mention him all the time because you won't, because he's always pretty consistent and very consistent. And so it kind of goes unnoticed unless they snap one over the punter's head. And we're playing a really good all-around football team, offensively, defensively, running the ball, run action, a good runner, very efficient quarterbacking. The defense has been like this for a while. They play hard. They're well coached. They're very, very aggressive. I think they had 8 sacks against Northwestern the other day. So those are the issues. They're hard to run against, and they rush the quarterback well. we're going to have to find our balance and be real good in those areas. We're going to have to protect the quarterback, and we're going to have to run the ball. Okay, questions?
In the offseason, you talked a little bit about one of the reasons you wanted to switch to the 3-4 was so that your offense could see it in the offseason. So what kind of preparations do you feel like you guys have had now for months of seeing the 3-4 defense, and what kind of things has Bob Diaco thrown at you on top of that you feel like prepare you better for this game this week?
Well, we all think that having the 3-4 defense to practice against in spring ball all through fall camp is a good thing for us. So we think that the preparation of what we've seen, which is when you look at that amount of time, Sam, from spring ball all through fall camp, you'd like to say you've probably seen the kitchen sink. Everybody has probably a little different flavor to it. But the other thing about practicing against a 3-4 team, it can in nickel situations it can morph into a 4-man front. So you can get a variety of practice, probably more so than going the other way. Going sometimes like we used to run a 3-man front in our dime situations once in a while, but that was about it. And it was a whole different animal as far as rushers. It was more about coverage than it was about playing against it on first down. So I think that I think it's beneficial, and I think that obviously the work will be good, and now it will be contending with the personnel that we're going to play against, and obviously the different, maybe any different style or wrinkles that we're going to see that are new to us from what we've seen from our own defense. We have to be ready for it.
How would you say Mike, you mentioned the personnel. How would you compare to what you've seen so far this year?
I would say overall personnel around the board and with what they're doing, it's probably the best. The other team with some outstanding people and very good athleticism defensively was Oregon, right? So, we've seen those type of athletes, but when you're talking about the big picture of playing team defense, playing together, being in sync, this is the best football team and the best all around offense, defense put together, the best team that we've seen.
Hey Mike, one person you didn't mention, but he got moved officially to the injured list on the depth chart is Trey Bryant. Has his injury gotten more severe?
Trey Bryant, I'm sorry, I had that at the top and missed it, but Trey is not going to be ready this week, and we don't know what that means after that. All we can do with Trey right now is hope he gets better, and so we do not think he'll be ready to play this week.
Is there anything more defined on his injury? Because one time it was just kind of described as a guy having a kind of just a bum knee.
Yeah. I can't really go into any more medical specifics. I'd be crazy to try to do that. But, he's had knee issues before, and it was aggravated in an earlier game, and it has not gotten sufficiently better to play.
Mike, where's the confidence of this team just overall in relation to any other point during the season?
I think that this team has prepared themselves in the last 2 weeks in a very good way to compete. I would say that there's an excitement about playing football right now for them that is contagious throughout the team. The work has been really consistent with this team. It's a good group of people that have always worked hard. We've been rewarded with, I think, better and better play in the last little while. They have been, and so I expect that to continue. What we absolutely need to win this next game is to get better. So, and I think this team will work to do that. I think they're built that way as people, and I think that some of the success they've recently had should be a confidence booster for them.
Mike, the last 2 times you played Wisconsin, it's come down to the very last play.
Is that right?
What have you learned about playing Paul Chryst teams over the past few years?
Well, there's no doubt about our team and the games, I suppose, until last week that we've been in. And the thing that is evident from our history with Wisconsin is you have to be the team that finishes. You know, I mean, we had our opportunities a couple years ago here to finish that game and didn't do it, and gave them an opportunity with one more drive to get in position to kick a field goal, and then we had the ball with a chance to score and win it last year and did not do that. So it's really about finishing the game at a high level, being able to produce and play and make plays, offense and defense.
Bob Diaco's defenses have always been really good in the red zone. Do you see something in the way he gets players to buy into embracing that, and also a quick change if there's a turnover and that sort of thing?
You know, I think that our team is well prepared for all situations, and playing each game as it stands in its own particular situations. 1st and 10, minus 35-yard line. You know, there's got to be everybody's got to have an alarm factor about what they have to protect there and what they can't give up. And then, 3rd down is a key situation. There is also always has been like those, with a lot of emphasis in playing well in the red zone and being sound. I think that the thing about playing in the red zone, I know there's a part that has to be real physical because you can't give up yardage just running at you. So you've got to be physical. The closer it is, each yard is crucial down there. So you have to be physical, but everybody has their play in there to score. Like we ran a naked boot with a pulling tight end coming underneath for a touchdown last week. So everybody has their ways to score. Hard play action, receiver bounce behind the safety, go into block, bounce behind the safety, throw. Everybody's got their stuff. On 4th down in the red zone, Illinois had the reverse pass to the tight end. That's where you see that stuff. So besides playing physical, you have to have great eyes. You have to do your job. And so the emphasis in coaching is beautiful down there because it's really all about playing good, sound football and then being physical at every point of attack so you don't give up yardage. And so it's kind of a microcosm of the game. It's all condensed. You got to be ready for just about anything. And you've got to be really physical to stop them from scoring. You got to be really smart to keep from getting tricked.
Mike, Big Ten Freshman of the Week has been Stilley. He was awarded that today. What have you seen out of him at such a short amount of time?
Well, from Ben Steely, I think through the time that we've had him here, I've just seen really, really good, hard, consistent work that has basically paid off for him by taking advantage of an opportunity that was presented to him a few weeks ago where he got a chance to play in the games and it was just a week ago, really, at a new position that he had a little experience with. He had bounced from a defensive end to a boundary linebacker. And with the injuries that we've had, he slides in, takes advantage of it, and physically has done a good job. He's very conscientious, has always been an extremely hard worker. And that's what's happened. It's pretty simple.
You know, Paul Chryst
this offense obviously really well. It's in many ways your own. In what ways, since the two of you joined the Big Ten as head coaches at the same time, in what ways are your offenses fundamentally really similar? And in what ways are they not? And what are some of the, maybe the tweaks that he has or the tweaks that you have that are different from each other?
You know, I think that Paul probably runs more of a gap power based offense than we do for sure. So pullers, you know, when you watch Wisconsin, Sam, you'll see multiple pullers sometimes on power plays or gap type plays where you block down, pull, and come around the edge. I think that they're definitely heavier in that area than we are. And those are more downhill power type plays. We run similar edge plays, pin and pull to the outside. We run similar inside plays with zone plays. And we run similar play action type passes with zone type action. And then there's also similarities in part of a game that we played and initially did together with post and angle game. I mean, those are repeated deals there. Now, knowing it and defending it are two different things. I mean, it's all for a good reason, and so, you know, those are parts of it. We probably are a little heavier draw team than they are, but they have, you know, by game they'll pull it out from time to time too. So I'd say there's similarities in that regard, except probably an emphasis, like I mentioned, in the running game, which keys a lot of what you do in the play action pass game too.
Is the offensive lineman that Wisconsin has traditionally had, developed, and continues to have, does that play a role in the diversity of their run game? In other words, the athleticism?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, you know, even before Paul was there, but when Paul was there as an assistant, same style, same kind of stuff, and even some of the players were still there when he came back. And so the development in that way continued through time. And, you know, I think the use and athleticism of the offensive line are key factors in why they run like they do.
You didn't pull much last season. You guys didn't do much at all last season. Why have you done so much more of it this year? Was that an off-season evolutionary talk, or was it just the linemen are better?
You know, I think that we made a concerted effort to do more of it because we were not going to be as heavy in that zone read, you know, so to have the capability of still running some zone running plays, but the ability to either pin and pull for the outside or to run a gap type play. We have been our best runs have been kind of a power play without the puller that we've mentioned before, called Zonka. That's been one of our best runs. And so those plays basically involve the ability to double team off to somebody in the back end. And so everything ends up pretty much after the double team in good one-on-one blocks. Zone blocking is just what it is, and it's still part of what we do, and we've been only partially successful with our zone stuff. And so we added more pulling, either for outside run or inside power, to complement our game because we didn't have necessarily the quarterback run to complement it.
Mike, how would you describe the stretch you're about ready to wade into the two top 10 teams?
Do I have to talk about anything past this week, Eric? Sure. Huh? Really? I mean, I'm not thinking about that. Why do I have to think about a stretch? You know, this isn't baseball. I only have one game to think about this week. We don't play any double headers that I know of. So that's my answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Mike, how do you handle that right tackle situation? You got three guys that have all started Hymas seems to be playing well. Neville's obviously the veteran. I mean, what do you do with that going forward?
Well, right now, as it stands today, until we know that David Neville practices full-time, feels good, it's not yet that final conversation. We think he's healthy, so we will look at it this week. But if we were playing today, Hymas would start.
Has Decker played well enough at center that it's going to be tough to move?
It's definitely a factor there. It's definitely a big discussion by us. We really appreciate both players, Decker and Conrad, and we're thankful, as we know can happen, that your team can get sometimes stronger eventually, even though the injuries can be devastating, right? If you lose Neville, you lose Conrad. If those other guys can go in and play well and play better, then your team, when the other guys get back, will be stronger. And then how that sorts itself out will be based on strictly about competition and how we feel, who gives us the best chance to win.
Hey, Mike, what's the film tell you about Wisconsin's freshman tailback, Taylor?
Really like him. I really like him. We were talking about him today. He might be as good as they've had that we've seen since we've been here.
Not asking you to look ahead, but it was announced also that the Ohio State game was at night, and just that environment in Memorial Stadium at night, what has that been like since you've been here?
It's awesome. All the games are unbelievable experience, you know, but the night games are really electric, and so I understand why they do that.
What do you like about that freshman run?
Oh, I think he's really versatile. He's a really good athlete. He's big, powerful, and great balance. You see his first touchdown run the other day? That was pretty impressive. He should have been down, but somehow stayed up, had a hand on the ground, catapulted himself into the end zone. It's good play.
What's your message? It's big recruiting weekend. I know you can't talk about anybody specific.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of guys coming. You're going to have all day, obviously, to talk to them, which is probably helpful to you. But what is your message? I mean, it's 3-2, big game this weekend. What are you talking to these guys about?
The recruits? Yeah. You know, I think that, most of these guys that are coming in, we've had long-term relationships with. And so, and almost every one of them have been here, but kind of have chosen, when they have an opportunity, they can take their, if they have a bye, they can take their official visit during a time like this. So we will just continue to basically build that relationship. It's always great to have them here. It's always great for them to be reminded of what a game at Nebraska is like. So to be involved in a game weekend for any recruit, no matter how many times he's been here, is always special. And then obviously the reason that many of them have either chosen to visit or have committed is that we have a shared vision with them about where we are going. So it's always good to see them.
Take one more, Coach, if there is one.
How big do you think the recruit class is going to be now?
It's grown a little bit with some stuff that's gone on, and I think that I think we've come to the conclusion that we might be able to get 18.
All right.
All right.